President Cyril Ramaphosa says he's dealing with the matter of Health Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize. Reports revealing that Mkhize's personal ties with a company called Digital Vibes might have led to the irregular awarding of a multi-million rand contract. Now, Ramaphosa labeled the corruption allegations against his health minister as quote-unquote serious and disturbing. Political analyst Dr. Ralph Mthekga says the president should anticipate that he will lose some of his allies as he fights corruption. Well, he joins me now for a discussion. Dr. Mathekga, thank you very much for your time. The president, his words are that these allegations are serious and disturbing. Is that enough to appease the public sentiment that is going against the health minister right now?
Good morning, Colin. Good morning to your viewers. I think it's a good start to recognize how serious this is. And most importantly as well, Colin, to me, is that if you want to, it is the health department, given the pandemic that is raging globally. So if you take that into context, these allegations are very, very serious. And the health department being a very prominent department in government broader response to the pandemic, it's even more so in this context. So it is a good start, but I also think as well that this is an area where you don't just have to say, I'm waiting for the normal processes such as the investigation of the SIU. You need to be seen saying that even before the investigation is done, we have this underlying question that raises serious questions about the leadership at the health department under Dr. Zweli Mkhize currently.
So what should the president, or better yet, what should the health minister himself, Dr. Mathekga, be saying or doing to appease public anger?
The explanation provided by the health minister is quite thin. The health minister, Dr. Zweli Mkhize, seems to believe that the fact or his version of the story that is not directly implicated, it exonerates him. But if you look at, people are talking about value for money, people are talking about an environment of conflict of interest, which we don't have to prove that actually the minister interfered that directly, but just that environment exists itself, it's a point of concern. It appears that the health minister seems to be waiting for the president to actually push the health minister. I wonder under what conditions will people realize that when you are facing some of these allegations, make it easier, live gracefully, live with whatever dignity remains, and say that, look, I am not directly involved in this, but that this has happened under my watch. Indeed, there should be thorough investigation, and I don't think any investigation can be carried out with me remaining in this position. I prefer to step aside. So that would be someone taking a very high road here and living gracefully instead of being pushed. But in our country, people don't live until it is inevitable that they have to leave.
And that is sad, Dr. Mathekga. In fact, as I speak to you, I'm about to talk to our colleague Artem Tongana, who's following the DA, which says it wants to go lay charges. But that's opposition for you. You would expect them to do something like that. I want to focus very briefly on a radio conversation I heard yesterday where they were talking to the chairperson of the Integrity Commission of the ANC, George Mashamba, who says, thus far, they have not seen the health minister come to them to explain himself. So it looks and sounds as though they are going to be the ones that now call him in. What does that do for the credibility of Dr. Zweli Mkhize?
Yes, if you look at the work of the Integrity Commission, I really have doubt if the ANC members take this thing quite seriously. I mean, I don't know how it functions. I don't know if you know exactly how it functions, the exact internal processes. Majority of South Africans might not know, but I would imagine that being an internal process, one would have expected Dr. Mkhize to say that, hence this issue has come forth. Let me explain myself, volunteering to go to that. But we know it never happens. People have to be dragged to this forum in order to answer. And we are back at square one, where the Integrity Commission is saying that we are waiting for Dr. Mkhize to come. I will be honest with you, Koli. I don't want to put much trust in the Integrity Commission. It's an internal process of the ANC that works in relation to members of the ANC according to their rules and so forth. What I'm concerned about where I stand here is how state institutions are looking at this. The SIU is looking into this, which means there is already something worth looking at. That on its own, for me, should have triggered a reaction on the side of the minister, explaining this thing better, or maybe understanding that his position is untenable as the health minister. I mean, you just cannot continue with this. You cannot explain this away, because it's not about the technicalities of the Integrity Commission and so forth. There is a moral question here that questions the leadership of the minister at the health department.
And it makes it worse when his signature is reported to have been in some of these documents that approved this particular tender. Dr. Mathekga, let's leave it there for the time being. Dr. Ralph Mthekga, political analyst, giving us his thoughts on this matter. Well, let's stay with